Alright, so in order to make the next layer of our mandala, I need you to start by making a dot in the middle of your paper. That'll be step one. Then we're going to use compasses, and we're going to make a big circle outside of that. So here I'm putting the point in the middle of the dot. That'll be a nice placeholder for you. And I'm going to turn it around. Remember, you can lean it a little bit, which will help. And hopefully you guys have even better compasses than mine, because mine didn't go all the way around. So you lean it and you twist from the top all the way around. And it should match up, just like it did down here, when you have a nice smooth circle. When it's time to draw, remember to use your actual pencil and not use the one in the compass, because those ones aren't going to work as well. Just use your own pencil. And now, just like before, we're going to make the lines that are going to divide our circle into the 8 different pieces. It's going to be way larger though, so I start by making a straight line across. If the dot is not, if you can't see that dot, then it's not going to be a nice straight line. So even going up and down, I'm going to do the same thing. What I do to try and make it straight is I'll try and line up one of these measuring lines. So here I've got the 6. And I make sure it lines up nice and straight with the line I just drew. If it's way crooked like this, you already can tell that's not a straight line. But if I line it up so it looks straight with this line, then we should be pretty good. Make your up and down line. Then we're going to divide these in half. I like to make a little mark in the right place so I kind of have some idea where to go with it before I get the ruler out, because sometimes without looking we end up making these way too big or way too small. So here I've got the lines I just made to help myself with that. Here's the place where they intersect. It's okay if your lines go outside of the circle you drew. We'll be cutting off this and the end, so it probably won't even show. I'm using these lines to line it up. Pencils down, and I go for it. I'm making mine really dark so that hopefully you can see them, and I'm going to even go over it in Sharpie to make sure that it's really clear in the video where these lines are. Now I should have my 8 different pieces, and they all cross in the middle, just like last time, except way bigger. Our next step is to put your CD in the middle and line it up so it's nice and straight. I like using the side with the pattern, because what I can do then is I can try and match up the lines of the pattern the way I drew them. So I believe mine were through here. So I'm lining it up, lining it up. Use this as a center point. If it's like this, that's clearly not the center of this circle. You've got to have this dot, the point where all the lines cross, in the middle. Once I think I've got it about lined up, I can check and see if these look like they're all on the line, and they're pretty good. And then I want you to make a nice ring around it. Nicely and smoothly, taking your time. Now when we take this away and we look at the outside ring of our image, or of our compass ring with this one, this ring is the next part we're going to make our pattern in. Before, when you made your symmetrical pattern, you had a pie piece, just like this. Now we're only worried about this shape. It's kind of like if I took a rectangle and curved it around the edge of a circle. This is the only part we need to make a pattern in. So now that we can see this and it's nice and bold, I'm going to take a moment to zoom in and show you how I draw my pattern and how I start repeating it. Same process, just a different shape this time. This time I'm going to make a different pattern. You might want to keep your CD nearby to use similar shapes, or maybe you want to try doing something totally different. I'm going to start, some of my inspiration comes from things I saw you guys doing. I really saw great ideas, and I love this one. I'm making a curve from one point to the other, and a curve from one point to the other. My next step I'm going to do is a straight line here, and then I'm going to make these almost like swoosh marks up. They remind me of when I see a book that's open. Now I'm going to come in here and I'd like to make a circle. I would recommend doing this with a pencil first so that you can see it. I'm doing mine in Sharpie, but it's hard because Sharpie's forever. There are no take-backs. So it may not turn out as perfectly as before, but I can do my best, take my time, keeping that curve going. And if I make a mistake, that's okay. Nobody's perfect, and sometimes those mistakes give us the best ideas. And then when I look at how my CD actually lines up, I kind of like the idea of something coming up from these two angles. So from about here and here, I'm going to bring that in. Ooh, I like this. To me, it looks like an owl or something like that. I really, really like it. So now that I've got this, I will repeat this design again and again all the way around your circle. And when you do, I'm going to show you what that will look like. Ta-da! Here's my final design. I took what we just saw and I put it in every single one of these pieces. And I went all the way around. I really like this. Before it reminded me of an owl. I don't know what it reminds me of now. And our last step will be to color in a few areas on this. And then to glue down your CD mandala right in the middle. So I would glue this down, and you can see that it's just radiating out, and that radial symmetry is just continuing, and it looks so cool. I love these. So good luck with yours. Take your time. Remember to do this in pencil, so you can always make a change. And even mine isn't perfect. Sometimes these circles are totally different shapes. I wish that they could be perfect, or some of these lines start at different places. I wish they'd be perfect. But I'm sure when you first saw this, you didn't even think, oh, those aren't perfect. You know, the whole idea is to do your best to have that radial symmetry, and everyone's going to be blown away with these.